My name is Emily Carter, and I am 35 years old. I never thought I would find myself in a situation where trusting my own brother could turn my life upside down. For as long as I could remember, I had always believed that family was the safest place to put your trust, that the people closest to you would never hurt you. I worked hard for every dollar I saved. I lived simply. I skipped luxuries and small pleasures because I wanted security and peace of mind. I always thought if I could save enough, someday I could finally breathe easy and feel like I was in control of my life. My brother, Michael, had always been the one I looked up to. He was confident, charming, and everyone in the family seemed to trust him implicitly. I remember when I first told him about my plan to save for the future, he smiled and encouraged me. He said he could help me make the money grow and that I should not worry. I felt a sense of relief and excitement that he was willing to help me. I never imagined that this decision would be the start of a story I would replay in my head for months and years to come. When I handed him the account details, I felt a mixture of nervousness and hope. I reminded myself that I had been careful, that I had chosen wisely. He promised to take care of everything, and I believed him completely. For the first few days, everything seemed normal. He sent short messages telling me that the investments were going well. I tried not to overthink it. I did not want to appear suspicious or ungrateful. I kept telling myself that he knew what he was doing. I trusted him, after all. But there was a small voice inside that I could not ignore. That voice made me check my accounts more carefully than I had before, and that's when I saw that something was wrong. The balance was different than I expected. The numbers did not make sense. My heart started racing, and I felt a cold tightness in my chest. I called him immediately, but he did not answer. I left messages and waited. My anxiety grew. I could barely concentrate at work. I replayed every word he had said, every promise he had made. I wondered if I had imagined things or if I was overreacting. When he finally called back, his voice sounded tired and nervous. I asked him directly if my money was safe. There was a long pause before he spoke. He told me that things had not gone as planned, that part of the money was missing. I felt numb. I could not believe what I was hearing. When we met in person, he looked uneasy. I could see the guilt in his eyes. He tried to explain that the market had changed on money. I listened quietly. I did not shout. I did not cry. I felt a deep sadness mixed with disbelief. I realized in that moment how fragile trust can be. I had placed so much faith in him, and now everything I had worked for felt like it was slipping away. The days that followed were some of the hardest. I tried to go about my normal life. I went to work and smiled as if nothing had happened, but inside I was replaying the events over and over. I blamed myself for trusting so blindly. I blamed him for not being careful. I thought about the years I had spent saving every dollar. I had sacrificed for security and independence. I felt a loss that was bigger than money. It was the feeling of being naive and exposed. I reached out. I learned about the steps I could take to minimize further loss and possibly recover some of the money. I spent nights researching and planning. I felt a growing strength inside me, despite the despair. I still wanted to move forward, even if it meant rebuilding everything from scratch. One evening, I sat alone in my apartment, staring out the window. I thought about the trust I had given so freely. I thought about the bond I had with my brother and how it had changed. I realized that relationships could survive mistakes, but only if honesty of some expectations to heal. Months passed, and life slowly continued. I adjusted my spending habits. I became more careful and more independent. I maintained contact with my brother, but our relationship had changed. It was polite, but distant. There was no more casual joking or long conversations about dreams and plans. The trust I had once given without question had been replaced with caution and awareness.